Nachdem ich gestern auf den Gaufi Trails mich konditionell doch recht verausgabt habe, bin ich dann noch 4,5 Stunden in den Süden gefahren und jetzt sind wir in einem kleinen Dörfchen, das nennt sich Matlock, glaube ich. Ich hoffe, ich spreche es richtig aus. Und da hinten um die Ecke, man mag es gar nicht glauben, ist Stanton Bikes und da bin ich heute zu Besuch. Und für die Leute, die des Englisch mächtig sind, wird das heute richtig gut. Für die anderen werde ich versuchen, unten Untertitel reinzupacken. Hier gibt es übrigens ganz viele Häuser zu verkaufen. Also wer hier ein Haus kaufen will bei Stanton Bikes, kann das tun. Hi. Nice to meet you.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Hi.
Good to
How's
see
it
you.
going?
Yeah.
Bit early,
That's
3
okay.
minutes.
No problem.
Yeah.
Would you like a cup of coffee?
Sure, thanks.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Come upstairs. How do we start? Just like this?
Nice to
How you
meet you.
doing? Nice to see you.
Yeah.
So I'm Dan from Stanton Bikes, and this is my little workshop in Matlock. So I guess we start in this room. I've got bikes that I'm currently riding or that I'm working on, and a few kids' bikes at the end there. This is my Sherpa. This is pretty much my go-to bike for pretty much everything I'm doing and riding. I've got it set up super light. I'll just pull that down and have a look.
Sure. What's super light?
This is like about 24.5 pounds, about
What's
20,
that in kilos?
I don't know.
24 and a half.
Probably about 12, 11 and a half, 12, something like
Feels
that.
pretty light.
Yeah, it's not too bad. When it's set up on the tie frame, it's really light, but I've been testing and riding the steel version. So, and then something I did the other day was a back-to-back test against the new Sedona.
It's the same color, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the privilege of being able to paint every single frame however you want.
Yeah.
It's the same colour as my van as well, outside.
Oh, okay.
And it's just my favourite colour. And then the same colour as some of the gym equipment upstairs. And then the same colour as the sign outside.
Oh my God, seriously, I want to ride it right now. Don't want to talk, I want to ride. Looks so cool.
Yeah, it's really fun frame that.
Hardtail is always super good looking. Better than any full suspension frame. It's just the classical look of a hardtail bike that I enjoy.
Yeah, handsome looking frame.
So how do they compare riding? The Sherpa is more like a trail bike, and this one?
I'd say they're both trail bikes really, but that's a bit more XC orientated, whereas this is a little bit more relaxed in the geometry. Head angle's about the same, seat tube angle's about the same, but it's really, I'd say the main difference is this has got a shorter chainstay length and the stack height is taller on this bike. So to get into the attack position when riding trails, it's easier on this than it is on that. But I'm just very used to that.
Okay.
So, but this is what I'm taking to America with me.
Okay.
So I'll be riding.
Probably also because it's the newer one.
Yeah, it's the one that me and Steve from Hardtail Party have designed together.
How did you get together with Steve?
So he just started I didn't know about it. It was when I had like 12, 15 members of staff working here, and somebody else was dealing with the marketing. And Steve had contacted about getting some frames for test. So we just sent some frames over and he tested them, and then I saw the videos and then started to communicate with him. And then he said, hey, why don't you come over and do a big adventure ride with me? And so I took that on this titanium, on the titanium frame, a Sherpa in titanium.
Yeah.
And we rode from the north rim of the Grand Canyon to all the way through Arizona to Utah.
Okay.
So yeah, all along these pioneers trails, cutting out, and it was 41 degrees, and it was much higher elevation than here. I was actually struggling a bit, to be honest, on some of it, especially at that temperature, because here you're lucky if it gets over 23 degrees, you know. So 41 degrees, yeah. I was breathing out my everywheres trying to ride there, I tell you. But, you know, as soon as we started coming down in elevation and the temperature started to drop, and there was a moment where it started to rain, you know, it just felt more like home, and it was a lot nicer and easier. But I really loved that ride. It was great. And so, but now Steve's moved to Arkansas. And so we're going to go over, I'm taking my family over with me. We're going to go over for 5 weeks and check it out, ride around there. Okay. I'm taking this with me. So the difference really is the attack position on the Sherpa is a little bit more squat because the stack height is shorter on that. But then I find it a little easier to climb on that because it's literally designed for me. Yeah. You know, I sit on the seat and just straight arm it and just rip up the trail.
When I looked at the Sedona, that's why I got in touch with you as well. It said trials, BMX-ish riding. Yeah. And I have a trials background, and I found it super interesting because of the high stack, and I'm pretty curious on how it rides. Yeah. Is the frame, is it the same weight as this one, or is it heavier?
This is slightly heavier, but it's to do with the yoke. Okay. So this is it's got the yoke from the Switch 9er on it, which is a double-sided yoke, all CNC'd from one billet of steel. Okay. And that just helps with lateral stiffness. And it's got the same chainstays and dropouts as the Switch 9er, but then it's got the smaller, thinner seat stays. And although it's a 4130 heat-treated tube set on this rather than the 853, all the tubing profiles and diameters are exactly the same between the two products.
Would you say you notice the difference between the two materials, riding-wise?
No. If I'm totally honest. No.
It's just lighter, or what's the difference between these?
It's just the tensile strength. And even that is, you could say it's there, but it's negatable, really. Okay. And the truth of it is that is profiled in Birmingham, in England, and this is, you know, profiled at the factory in Asia. So, okay, that's the truth, the cut and dry of it, really. Okay. When we used to make everything in this here, we've obviously changed it. If you look at any of the old YouTube videos, you can see it looks vastly different. But we had all manufacturing going on in here, welding up all the frames, making the frames, and we were using all the tubing, you know, coming from Birmingham Reynolds and processing the frames internally here. And we got to see, really, you know, that obviously the tubing's great and the quality control from Reynolds is great, you know, but principally the difference is simply that the tubing is profiled in Birmingham and not in the factory in the Far East. So,
do you still weld frames, or has that?
No.
Not even the titanium ones?
No, we don't weld them up. No. Okay. We just design everything here. I can prototype and make them here, but we don't. We can produce them here. You know, like I could literally drop on the machines and make runs of frames, but it's just. I don't know. Life's a lot calmer and nicer.
You don't do that.
Yeah. It's a lot of time and effort, and the factories. You're only trying to match the quality that's coming out of the factories out there.
Yeah, but they're of course they produce like 1,000 frames.
They're the best in the world. Yeah. The welders out there are literally welding up frames every single day. Yeah. I was paying welders that were super high rate, you know, welders that work for aerospace, work for Rolls-Royce, this, that and the other, coming here working on those salaries, working here, you know. And if I'm totally honest, the quality wasn't as good. Okay. You know, and the work ethic was a little bit left to be desired. I did have one welder that was really, really on point and working all the time, no sweat, no drama, but you know, if I'm totally honest, it was quite frustrating at times, you know.
When was that? When you made the switch to, I don't know, have it produced overseas?
Do you mean?
Like when you started welding yourself when you founded this company, didn't you?
No, first of all, we were making frames out in Asia.
Okay.
So I designed them all up and then get them made overseas and then bring them here. And then we made a shift to start making product here. And we had a team of 15 people, like a little mini factory, producing about 300, 400 steel frames a year in this building. And it was very stressful.
Yeah, no work-life balance.
And the work-life balance, yeah, and I've obviously had young children at home and so on. But yeah, we've produced some great frames, you know, they're really, really nice quality frames, but they were, like, it's the same if you go everywhere, anywhere, like anywhere within the UK, you have small builders making frames. Yeah. These people are making a handful of frames a year. We were producing a lot of frames in a year. Yeah. And even with the high level welders that we had, it was still hard for us to match the quality that we were getting out in Asia. Okay. Is the cut and dry truth.
So you made the switch back to Asia?
So when COVID hit and we had a bunch of other dramas happen.
We're going to talk about one drama later, aren't we?
Yeah, we are, yeah.
The German drama.
Yeah. So when all of that happened, it was it really hit hard when the cost of living changed in the UK, when we decided that we were going to go to or start financing and supporting the war in Ukraine. So when that started to happen, people started to lose like their spare income, and sales started to drop. Yeah. And I think obviously the whole cycle industry felt that, and effectively what happened was that my investor got cold feet and worked away without really fully informing me of the situation. Okay. Worked away to be able to start to pull the rug, is what they call it. So so rather than kind of sticking it out hard times, you know, and readjusting things internally in the business and making some changes, it just became like swimming in treacle. You know, harder and harder to try and deal with the situation. And then eventually he called an administrator in, because he was obviously, you know, the investor, and so the company was in debt to him. But we had the best part of £1 million worth of stock, because we had two years worth of stock arrive at the same time, because of like shipment issues from Asia. Because, you know, with COVID and everything, things were on half-lane shipping and all sorts of problems. Yeah. So we had nothing for ages, and then 2 years worth of stuff. So all the cash that was in the business then went and we spent it on this stock. Yeah. So we weren't really in a bad position. We just had a lot of stock and not much cash in the bank. So when he decided to pull his money, it meant that the company didn't have the cash in it. And so the administrators came into play, and it turned out the administrator was his friend from school. Okay. Yeah, so it was all a bit of a contrived situation that made it very awkward. I thought I was going mad at one point, you know, just like the stress of it and trying to figure out the game. And then I got other administrators to come and talk to me so I could find out more information about what was going on. And I found out about this idea of a pre-pack, which basically means that we can close the company and reopen the company without the debt on it. And I said to him, look, you could own 70% of the new company and I can own 30. Yeah, and then you can get your money back that way. Okay. We could do that. And he said, oh, no, I don't think that's going to work, mate. And I thought, how's that not going to work? You know, that's surely the answer. Yeah. And so that's when I really realised there was something funny going on. Okay. And then, yeah, as it went on, obviously the company went under with the administrator being in. The administrator couldn't really hold it. And so then all this stock that was here, effectively what I did was, because people were approaching to buy the company, but the offers that I got was we don't need all of that. We don't need the stock. We don't need everything. All we want is you.
Oh, okay.
So I'll pay you.
The name or you as
me,
a person?
Me.
Okay.
Not even they weren't even worried about the IP.
Mhm.
You know, we could just go again. I'll give you 250 grand in your hand, and then 250 grand to start a new company, and we go 50-50, and you start up again and go. I nearly did that. But
Why didn't you though? That's a lot of money.
Yeah, because that's my name.
Oh, okay. Sure.
And because this area used to be known like it is, like there's Stanton by Bridge, Stanton Moor, Stanton in the Peak, all around this area. And I wanted to, part of the reason that I started the company and with this name and everything was because I wanted to ground my kids.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, they were part of something that was tied to the earth.
Okay.
Sounds a bit much, but yeah, and so I thought to myself, you know, so what I ended up doing was effectively getting a full stock value, going seeing a friend who sold his company for 8 million, Dave from Planet X, you know. Yeah. And I said to him, look, you've got a load of stored stock and all sorts of stuff here. Why don't you buy this stock? And then I used that money to buy the company. So he bought all the stock, and then I used that money to literally buy everything back. And then I just bought the stock, you know, back off him at a profit for him. Yeah. And then carried on.
So how did the One Bike for Life thing come into play?
Well, so what happened was, because when the administrator was in play, they couldn't commit to purchasing the stock that was in Asia. Yeah. And we're talking stock from 2020, from 2019.
Which is still being sold as new stock on
Bike
24 right now.
Yeah, and they're saying new 2025 stock. Yeah. But it's not, obviously. It's from 2019.
Are there any differences? I mean, just like if you take this frame, for example,
yeah, it's different, yeah. That's a different frame.
Geometry-wise?
Yeah, this is the Gen 4 frame. They don't do those. It's just old stock that they've got. Okay. And so they managed to get hold of, as far as I was aware, a handful of old stock. But and it's totally, you know, because we couldn't commit, or the administrator couldn't commit to purchasing from the factory. The factory needs to clear the stock. I get it. Yeah. You know, that's fine. So I've got no issue with that. But remember, all of the frames that we have are blank. Yeah. They have no logo and nothing on them. True. They're just ED painted frame, like that black frame there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They're just like that. And then we paint everything in the powder coating plant and paint shop next door, which I'll show you. Yeah. So they don't come with any branding or anything. So what the chap who runs One Bike for Life did was register my logos. So he kept contacting the administrator and finding out about what was happening and where the company was at and so on, and acting like he was going to buy it. So they were giving him information. And so he then went away and registered all the logos, and then claimed that he was now the new owner of Stanton Bikes. Okay. But obviously is not. If you just register, it's like if I got a load of old chocolate from a Cadbury's factory and then registered the Cadbury's logo, do I then own Cadbury's? Do you know what I mean? It's just, so to do that and then to like claim off the back of my works and say, Dan did a great job on that little island, you know, in the UK, but we're going to take this brand global and we're going to do X, Y, and Z. It's arbitrary. It's false.
Can they still get like the old frames from the company, from the factory? I mean, just imagine they sell all the stock they bought in 2020, I think. And can they still like have new frames produced? I mean, new old frames?
As far as I'm aware, they can't do that. They can't have anything that wasn't committed.
So as soon as they sell everything,
it should be over. Okay. If he carries on after that, then it's fraud. Well, it's to claim everything that is claimed already is fraud, and so this is why we're in a situation where Because obviously I've got all the proof and documents, like from me, literally from 2009, 2010, me sketching the logo, you know, and then me working with a professional to get the logo made so that it could be printed on a massive size and all that sort of stuff. We've got all the evidence of that. We've got evidence of the fact that the company sold into Germany and into mainland Europe, you know, literally from 2010 onwards. So we know that he's just ridden the back of the works that I've done, and then so to claim ownership is fraud.
Is it maybe possible that it's a difference between England and Germany, that you can do that in Germany, you know, the laws saying you can do that, and English, like the logo, I don't know, you have it registered in England but not in Germany.
Okay, so
is that possible?
So what we've got is a German attorney who's written to him and told him everything that he is in breach of. Okay, and so they've asked him, they've basically said that you need to halt any more sales or anything going forward. So we'll see what happens once that stock's gone.
When was that?
It was last year.
Okay. And it takes a long time in Germany for attorneys to do something like that.
It was done. Well, I was chasing it. I was really chasing it at the beginning. The next step now is to take. I've got all the evidence. I've literally got all the evidence of the fact that we sold prior and the fact that we still sell, and we've got all the evidence that where he's claimed that he's taken ownership of the company and all this, that, and the other. And obviously everything was signed over to me. So we obviously have all the evidence that proves that the company became Stanton. All the pre-pack effectively went into Stanton Bicycles. So we've got everything we need. You know, it's just a case that I need to pay to then take him to court for the next stage. And obviously it's expensive, and people are innocent until proven guilty. So until we prove him guilty, which it's an open and shut case, it's just the finances to fund the whole scenario.
Are you going to do it eventually?
Yeah.
And then what? I mean, for example, Bike24 sells Stanton frames, and even I knew about Stanton. I know about a lot of bikes, but I didn't know that. You know, you see Stanton. I was even gonna buy a Stanton bike on sale on Bike24, thinking it was Stanton. You know, in fact it is, but it's just an old version of it. Isn't it?
Well, I've had a lot of customers contact and say, I can't believe that, you know, I'm really sorry for what's happened. I can't believe that they've done that. And some customers that have purchased them and said that they feel just duped, because obviously, you know, we've not supplied or sorted that product out for them.
I would feel the same way. You know, thinking you buy a Stanton because you want a Stanton, and then it's not it actually.
So, and then customers have also shared their email threads with me from what Bike24 have said. You know, the fact that, oh, if you want one of those switch paths, then you need to go to them, you need to go to our supplier direct. We're not their supplier. We're not involved or invested or engaged at all.
So Bike24 is saying you're the supplier instead
They're saying that you need to go back to us, to the brand, to be able to get that product. But we're not in relationship. So it's a very awkward situation. And
do you think they don't know?
I don't know. I think they do. Well, they do know, because my attorney, I don't know, call her attorney, I don't know, solicitor sent them the same email, and that we also sent the email to the factory as well. You know, and I spoke to the factory. The factory told me that they didn't paint any of those frames, because they know that they're, you know.
So they were painted in Germany? Apparently
so. They said that they didn't paint them. So that means the owner of One Bike for Life took responsibility over branding and frames. So that's why they look different.
So look different, and the logo looks different?
No, in terms of the way they've painted them and the styles of finishes and so on. Like, we don't do those bands and we, you know, things like that.
Oh, yeah, I can see that now. But would you say have you ever seen one of those frames in real life? I mean, the ones they painted? Because that's what I also heard about you, that the painting, and I can see it, it's really nice, you know, and the quality is very nice. So maybe that's the difference then.
Well, that's it. So we found that when we're having, so the factories can manufacture beautifully,
Yeah.
you know, but the paint jobs that we get from factories overseas, we know that we can get them better. That's why we set it up over here.
Yeah.
Have more control over it, and it gives them more customization for the customer.
Is it only Laura painting those?
Lara paints the steel frames, but Matt can do it as well.
Mm-hmm.
I painted this one,
Okay.
but only this one. She taught me how to do it.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, they're the painters. You'll see them in a minute, I guess, on video. And they finish all the titanium frames here as well.
Okay.
So yeah.
I mean, it's not going to take that long anymore if you just take the cash and then go forth.
That's it. Yeah, and I'm sure like there's no legs in it either, because obviously we're like, well, I have designed new frames. Everything's moved on.
Yeah.
They don't have access to those frames. They've never made they can't do switch paths. They can't do the titanium FSs.
The Sedona.
Full suspension bikes, the Sedona,
Yeah.
you know, and then I've got all Gen 5 stuff coming out soon, you know, so obviously it's all going to change.
Gen 5, what's the difference? Internal routing?
I'll show you one here, look.
Oh, cool.
Something I'm working on at the minute. It really starts in this little funny looking pot here. And with my beautiful
3D printer.
Yeah, 3D printer. So here you go. So this is, obviously people have seen these before, the single speed dropouts that I designed here. They basically fit on the current Sherpa and slackline they do. And then what else we got in here? UDH. So trying to get UDH to work with this system. Have I got an example? An example in here somewhere. Oh, chucking stuff. Thanks, mate. That's an aluminium single speed.
Okay.
So prototype in aluminium and then made production models in titanium.
Oh, I like the screw stuff. I had a Surly, one by one, a couple of years. Well, it's a long time ago, and I had some dropouts you put through the axle, and then you could just move it.
Yeah.
That's a super cool system
I'll show you here,
for the change tension.
Jumping around a little bit, but I'll just show you.
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay. So there's a titanium one there. So we use titanium, so they're just literally an extension of the frame.
Okay.
So these are like lifetime products, and they're also I've pedal fatigue tested them to ISO standards as well. So
okay,
you know, they're just literally fit and forget. And then this, let me turn this around. So this is why I run IS mounts on the frames.
Yeah, you can move it with the wheel.
That's right. Like made these little slots in the back and just literally slide along on there. So that was what got me going with it, and I designed some UDH hangers that fit these Gen 4 frames. But what we found was basically the chain line on the new cassette here is more outbound by a couple of mil.
Yeah, 3 millimeters, I think.
Yeah. So then what's happening is where the frame is here, it was too far over.
Yeah.
And regardless of how much we tried to amend the UDH system, we were just getting contact on here. So what we're going to do is release the UDH dropouts. I thought I'd had some printed. I must have chucked them away.
I think you made a video sitting here, right?
That's right, yeah.
I saw that.
Yeah.
We can just link it there, and then we can see everything about the dropouts.
Yeah, so that's effectively the next stage. So the UDH dropout system.
So for running
SRAM
transmission,
So Gen 5 frames are all UDH like this.
But it still has the cable in.
Yeah, it still ports the same for your dropper coming out here through out there. But this is all this is for UDH. Yeah.
Are you going to design a frame where you don't have these? That would be so clean.
Yeah?
Running electric only, which the new Specialized S-Works 15, I think. People critique it, but I really like it because it's super clean.
Okay.
I have a Surly cross-check with the shifter mounts right here, and I only use one shifter. I
Okay.
use 1x9, and I cut off the other side just to make it look cleaner.
Okay.
You know, I don't need it for the front area.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I
you
mean,
know, like
that's an easy win, really. That, isn't it? You
Yeah.
know, that's just literally don't make that slot and don't braze that part on.
yeah. But I
No.
guess it's difficult. And then you would have to have two types of frames of the same, you know, frame
Yeah.
basically.
That's all right.
Not that difficult.
Not really. It's very simple.
Okay,
simple
my
win.
recommendation: take this off and the other,
Okay.
and then say
But there's so
electric only. Shimano's going to bring out some electric shifting sooner or later, anyways.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's
two
true.
brands having
That's
it.
true. I'm just wondering how they're going to make it marry up to this style or not, or whether it's going to be
I
different.
saw the patterns, but it looks weird.
Okay.
We'll see about that.
Well, this system
Yeah.
is nice and simple, so it should mean that we don't have any clearance issues because of how far back the frame sits
Yeah.
here. So when Shimano bring out theirs, we'll just basically make new swap outs.
Yeah.
But this is designed with that in mind, and the single speed, and obviously SRAM's UDH system.
Yeah.
So these new Gen 5 frames, you literally just swap this out and you'll be able to drop anything on there.
Have you ridden it already?
This frame?
I mean, some
This-
Gen 5 frame prototype.
No, not yet. No, this is through now. This will be on the market by, because this is this frame
Uh-huh.
in the Gen 5 with the new UDH system.
Okay.
So once I've got the bottom bracket fitted into this, so when I get back from my trip from America, basically, this is my next project. But I just wanted to make sure that all the chain line clearance and everything was good.
Well, you don't know if it works already. I mean, you don't know yet.
If it works,
Yeah.
I know that this will all work. It's just whether the clearance is good, and you can see there's
Well,
plenty of
there's a
clearance.
lot of space between this
Yeah.
and it's only the chain that would drop right here, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. If
Yeah.
not, you can file it off.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is the first prototype, and it's the same frame as that, same materials, everything. So we know that it's going to be bob on, really.
And this prototype was made here or also in Asia?
This was made in Asia, this one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I can prototype them and make them there. I've got the kit to do it, but I could also spend that time,
It's probably easier.
doing other things.
Yeah.
And it also means that I get to see because if it's a brand new product, I'll give it a go on there.
Mm.
But this, although the rear end, I mean, this part really that's the Gen 5 part,
Yeah.
moving all of the frames onto being able to fit all the UDH kit.
Okay.
So we know what, we know, don't we? The factory produced them. They've made hundreds of them for us. So
Are you gonna stay with the IS mount? Because it's old school.
It is, yeah.
It is. I like it because you mount your brake to the adapter, not to the frame. You cannot screw up the frame, basically, which I have never done. But there's always the first time. The IS mount, I've not seen many frames having IS mounts.
I just think it can look a bit clunky on a steel frame. Like a post mount, direct post mount can look quite clunky on a steel frame.
Is it
Whereas
difficult to produce it though?
No.
Like-
No, I could change it like that. It makes no odds.
Okay.
But I just think that it's harder to run a single speed system as well if it's a post mount.
So
Whereas you
all
can
of
just
these
make the
frames are
adapter.
designed to ride single speed?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Well, then you would need an IS mount
Yeah.
to move. A post mount wouldn't work.
that's right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
There
So-
you go.
that's why. Yeah.
No,
So I was
more.
thinking about it, but obviously, like I said, I designed all the dropouts to be able to run the new single speed system.
Yeah.
So then you just literally, it's going to be far easier to use that mount that I've designed that you just slot backwards and forwards so it marries up with your.
Are there many people riding single speed frame? I mean, single speed, your frame's single speed?
Yeah, the US seem to really like single speed.
Don't they have any mountains? I wouldn't want to. I rode single speed before I moved to the mountains. It was super nice. I even rode a fixie bike and all that. But I wouldn't want to ride that where I live now.
Yeah.
Because going uphill on a single speed, I would have a gear that I would be able to go up, yes.
Yeah.
But then going down, I couldn't pedal that fast.
Yeah, it depends what you're after. Some people just like the simplicity. Some people are riding, 29, 2.8, rigid fork, single speed.
Yeah, that's a different story.
It's just, people set them up all different ways, don't they? So you just got to try and accommodate it as best as possible while keeping a good aesthetic.
Yeah.
And I think IS mount means that, like you say, you literally fit everything, no drama. It's just change the adapter, design a different adapter, and you're done.
But the full suspension, they run IS2?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
On the
people
car.
run single speed on the full it doesn't
So
really
that's
work,
true.
does it?
That's true. That's true. Yeah, yeah. But it's just in keeping.
Uh,
Yeah.
why not?
Why not? It's literally just an adapter, isn't it? And, you know, makes no odds. But yeah, on the carbon rear, we could have gone for a post mount, but I didn't.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I just didn't. I think just because I've done them all IS, just kept it the same.
Speaking of which, the carbon rear, is it like, have you brought out this frame
Yeah,
already?
it's been out a while.
Oh,
Yeah, we did the tie switch 9 has actually sold through. I'm doing a new version of that.
And why carbon rear? To make it stiffer?
And lighter. Yeah.
Lighter.
Yeah. We did
By how
aluminium and steel versions, but even in aluminium and steel, trying to get that stiffness at the rear end was just difficult. So carbon is just super stiff. The other idea is to run titanium rear and kind of use like 3D printed titanium to get that stiffness.
Okay.
You know, so that's the next game.
When I was at Sauer Bikes, I don't know whether you know that company, it's a German company, Steel Frames. He told me he wrote some English, I don't know which brand, but a full suspension bike. And he said rear was really flexy, and that's what he didn't want on his bikes. So he went for Nicolai rear and an aluminium one on his brand.
Was that a full source?
It was a full source, yes.
Okay.
I think it was
Starling?
Starling, yeah, it was Starling.
Sorry,
yes.
Joe. Yeah.
Joe.
Yeah. Yeah, that's, you know, people design things differently. You know, I don't design the same way as Joe does. That was Joe's choice to make it like that. And I'm not here to critique.
No, me neither. I wouldn't know how to.
Yeah. But my aim is, or, you know, my aim with full suspension is to try and take out as much lateral flex as possible. Even on hardtails, you don't want lateral flex. You're looking for it to be nice and stiff. So the amount of, what you want is it to be flexible and absorb vibration, but you want that along the bike.
Okay.
You don't want it this way through the bottom bracket.
So otherwise, pretty much on a wheel, the same thing, no?
Yeah, exactly, yeah, because you're looking for the best direct transfer from the pedal to the contact patch, you know?
Then again, on a steel frame, it's harder to do than on an aluminium or carbon frame.
Yeah, but this is why you use yokes.
Okay.
So you can stiffen out the bottom bracket with yokes like this.
Okay.
You see, and then that just helps with lateral flex. You can also up the diameter of the down tube. Yeah. You know, so if you look at the titanium's a great example because titanium, it's far more. I mean, this is. I'll just tell you what this table is here because this will help. So this is our alignment table, and then when we get frames from Asia, I'll still check all the alignment of frames on here, make sure they're all.
On each frame you get?
Not on every single one, but on a batch you check them. You know, and if they come out the paint shop and you know things aren't looking quite straight, then we can drop them on here and just check them through. And we check them before they go, but not necessarily on here. But you can see as you set up a frame whether it's in or out of alignment, especially if you've been doing it for the last 15 years. So with titanium, the reason I raise this is because when you've got titanium on the table, you can see the amount of elasticity in a titanium frame over a steel frame. Yeah. You really like putting loads of pressure through the frame, and its return rate's better than steel as well. Okay. So it means that it's really springy. So with titanium, you can make exactly the same frame in terms of diameters and wall thicknesses in titanium as you would steel, but it would feel incredibly bandy. Okay. And so this is why you're then doing things like, let's use this yoked one here. This is why you're doing things like ovalizing the down tube. So you'll notice this down tube's much thicker.
It's bigger.
Yeah, so we've ovalized it this way here, and then this way here. And then the wall thicknesses are thicker in this as well. So it's still lighter than a steel frame. Obviously it's got a dropper in and whatnot. It's still quite considerably, we'll go upstairs in a minute and you can feel one without all the bits in it. It's considerably lighter than a steel frame, but that is stronger than the steel frames because all the weld points have more contact on them. So this is like 1.4 millimeters here, 1.6 millimeters here, where these are 1.1 and 1.2 and then gusseted. So these are really, really, really strong.
Actually, the second titanium frame I found in my hands.
Yeah?
The second. I've never seen that much, well, titanium.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah, the thrill of it never goes.
Why would you even paint it? Titanium has to go like this. I mean, this one is cool, yes,
Yeah.
but other than that, I wouldn't even paint it.
No, most people don't.
Why
What
would you?
we generally do are Cerakote wraps.
Oh, okay.
So this
is this Cerakote?
Yeah, this is it's a what is it called? What's the word? Ceramic. It's a ceramic coating.
Okay.
So it's super hard wearing.
Yeah.
It's the stuff that they use on rifles and.
Well, my full suspension bike, my Carvens, has a Cerakote rear end,
Oh yeah.
a black one, and the front is just raw aluminium.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cerakote's super tough. It's the
Even my
toughest.
rims have Cerakote. Like the grayish, my rims would actually fit that bike perfectly. They
Yeah?
are like almost this kind of color,
Are they?
grayish rims, carbon rims. Just getting,
Yeah.
getting out of hand, the bike business in my head. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why I used that overlay, the tubing and so on,
Yeah.
and that's why we use the yokes as well, just to try and take that. And so when it comes to full suspensions, as you can see on the wall up there,
Yeah.
that's the first prototype that we made in the UK.
Okay.
That one, that Sherpa titanium there was made here as well.
Okay.
That was that switch back up there. That's the very first switch niner that I ever got made.
Yeah.
And that red frame up there, that's the first ever slackline. You see it's got an 1/8" head tube and a 27.5 seat tube and QR, you know, so that's a little wall of.
I wouldn't
Of
even
old school
know
stuff.
how to tell the difference between the frames. They all look the same to me. It's probably, well, it is the geometry and the head tube, obviously, but other than that,
I don't know, I've conceived them from like sketches on bits of paper and
yeah.
developed them over time, so they're
Yeah.
all like a little kid to
Well,
me,
you do.
each one of them.
Yeah, probably.
In fact, that red frame there,
Uh,
that frame is as old as my oldest son,
okay,
15 years old.
15 years.
So when Jed, my eldest son, was being born, that's when I started the company, because I realised like I'm going to have to do something for a living to take care of this family that I want to do every day.
What did you do before that?
I went to university and did social and cultural theory, so Marxism, like Adorno and Horkheim.
So nothing to really work with.
yeah, it was. And
I studied something like that as well.
cycling was just my passion.
Yeah.
Like, literally, I was going on to do a doctorate in social and cultural theory, and I was married young. I married my wife when I was 25, and so she was not so happy about postmodern feminist theory when I would talk about that sort of stuff. Well, she encouraged me to go and start working at a bike shop because that was my passion.
Okay.
And then while I was at the bike shop, I taught myself how to use basic CAD.
Mm-hmm.
And then because the bike shop owner wasn't that interested in, he was an accountant, he wasn't that interested in cycling really.
Yeah.
It was the staff that were the people that were buying in product and deciding what should be on the shelves and, you know, and what quantities to purchase at. And so we got to really know some of the distributors, and I got to know how the industry worked. And so then from there, really, that's how I then started producing. I was working at that bike shop, Samway's bike shop, when I produced that first frame.
That's
And I built up a complete bike, took it to Dirt magazine, and within that year it was voted best hardtail and put in the Dirt 100.
Looking at it or
No,
writing
they
it?
reviewed it. Yeah,
Oh,
they took
okay.
it for a 3-month review
Oh, that's
and
so
said
cool.
that they thought it was brilliant. Thought it was the
Then
best.
it went to Pink Bike and then,
Yeah, and it just shot up from there. But that was
Yeah.
like 15 years ago, you know.
yeah.
And we've just been building on it ever since.
Okay.
It went rapid at the beginning. Couldn't even get enough stock into supply demand. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many frames do you sell a year? About?
Now, probably about, just quickly work it out, about 200 titanium frames and about 350, 400 steel frames, I'd say.
It's
Yeah.
about in the middle of the companies I visited.
Yeah.
Some like the company for children's bikes. They were the biggest brand selling bikes by numbers.
Yeah.
They sell like I think 8,000 a year.
That's so many. That's so much work.
Yeah.
When we were UK making, we were also obviously selling frames that we had made in Asia. We were kicking out a lot of frames then and had a lot of people working here. We were turning over probably what it was, about double what we're doing now, if not more. Pressure was high, stresses were high. You know, I didn't really feel like I was doing much in relation to bikes, it felt more like just managing like trying to walk cats, you know?
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It just felt crazy. I wasn't that keen on it really.
Did the sales go down with the Brexit
Yeah.
to Germany or to all the other parts, or is it just?
No, not really. I think the media is great at cultivating fear, problem, reaction, solution, right?
Yeah.
You know, there's a problem, they generate a reaction, and then they hold the solution.
Okay.
You know, it's just, and everybody reacts to it.
So what's the solution?
Well, it depends on the problem. You know?
Brexit.
so we so we just let it ride, really, didn't we? You know, and to be honest, nothing has really changed that much.
Okay.
You know, like we still sell a good, not really. It's only like you pay your VAT on import rather than pay it like you're in the UK.
Yeah.
There's no real big drama, is it?
I thought the prices had changed for us Germans ordering from the UK.
Not
I've never really compared it, but that's actually what happened. I heard about Brexit, then we had 1 year of to adapt to it because there weren't any import taxes. And then they started doing that and people stopped buying from the UK. Me too.
Okay.
Not thinking about it that much.
Yeah, I think, as far as I'm aware, you're getting like, you might get like 4.7% duty. You know, it's not really, shouldn't really stop you. 4.7%. And then you pay your VAT on import, you know. I just don't think it's that much of a drama.
Yeah.
I think this is what I mean, like things get stirred up, the pot gets stirred up, everybody gets fearful, full of drama, you know, and then as it tapers on, as it like peters off, there's a new thing to have a big drama about, and everyone doesn't worry about that one so much anymore, and it just kind of, the dust settles and everyone cracks on.
Yeah.
You know, we sell a good amount into, they're not the biggest market. If you think about it, it's exactly the same into Europe as it is anywhere else in the world.
Okay.
You know, we spend the same amount of it's the same experience really for somebody in America and Canada, Australia, New Zealand, literally Japan, anywhere.
True.
You know.
So what's your biggest market?
The US, yeah.
31%, you said.
38%. 38% of all my sales come from the US. Yeah, it is. Yeah. And then it's more than the UK market.
Okay.
And then the rest is because you know the average American has more disposable cash than the people in the UK. Yeah. Huh. The taxation's different. In the UK, you're taxed at source, so you get income tax 20%, and then you've got VAT 20% on everything you purchase. Yeah, and if you earn over £50,000 a year, you're taxed at 40%. You know, so in America, it's relative to state. Income tax is relative to state, and people are paid more money.
Yeah.
So if you're like a bike mechanic in America, you're on the best part of, as far as from the knowledge that I hold, you're on 50,000 USD, 45,000 USD. Sometimes, if for a manager's job, maybe 65,000 USD. When you break that down, it's like 35, 40 grand in the UK money. Here, people are lucky if they're getting 25 grand. You know. Yeah. And then your income tax and your sales tax are state relative, you know. So it's there's more disposable income.
Interesting.
Yeah.
50,000 for a bike mechanic?
Yeah,
you
USD.
Wouldn't get that in Germany.
No.
Nah, in Germany probably it's not that, but it's maybe half. I would have to lie. I don't know about it. But it's not that much, I'm pretty sure about that.
Yeah, when I was over at in America, when I went to Sedona, these were questions that I asked and got answers when I went to Thunder Mountain Bikes in Sedona, bike shop.
Yeah.
So, you know.
So that's why you started thinking moving to the US as a bike mechanic.
Yeah, not a bad idea.
You speak English.
Exactly.
And you do bikes.
First hurdle sorted, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like, it's the same process for Europe when it comes to a customer purchasing a product as it is for a person in you know the US or you know Hong Kong or wherever. Okay. You know, and people are buying all the time from all over the world. Yeah. And I think since what happened in the UK, the energy prices, you know, mortgage rates, everything's gone through the roof, and wages haven't gone up. So expendable cash is crushed. The second,
that's what we realized coming here or going through England. There's a lot of houses for sale, also in this town. It's like for sale, for sale, for sale.
Yeah.
People probably cannot pay the mortgages anymore.
Yeah, well, you just keep pushing the rates up on people. You know, it's not a good situation. Country's not in a good situation.
Yeah. Well, we have to talk about bikes.
Yeah.
Are we going to talk about the elephant in the room?
This I just designed this e-bike. This is a switchback e-bike. Designed this just to see if I could do it.
Well, you obviously did, didn't you?
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good fun. But the reason I've not really carried it on, did that in 2021, 2022. The reason I've not really carried it on is because it's a market that evolves so quickly. You know? Things are just changing all the time with it. So it's just like, you know, that's old hat now. Half that's old hat now. Okay. And the new like adapter kits that have come out are really good. You know, the ones with bottom bracket mounted.
Yeah, the people. I was even offered to use it, to review it, and show it on my channel. I was like, no, I'm not gonna do that. I don't know. I'm very curious about it.
Which I just thought, you know, can I do it? And if I can, then maybe I'll move forward with it. But then, as by the time I'd done that, other stuff was coming out, and I thought this is just too fast paced. Yeah. You know, so I thought to myself, what do they call it? Analog. Yeah. So I like classic mountain bikes. That's what I like. You know? And if you can just buy a standard analog bike like that, and then buy a bolt-on kit that looks really not much different to some other products that have just been bought out on the market, then why would you go to the effort of designing? Especially I understand why other companies that have bought steel full suspension frames out have just mounted the battery on the down tube. I understand why, because to do this in titanium adds quite a lot of weight. So to do it in steel, it'd be ridiculous. Yeah. So then you really only got the choice of putting it exterior. Well, if you're going to put the battery exterior, you know,
why not put?
Then why not just get a conversion kit? Yeah. And then you can just change between the two. It only takes an hour to swap it through. You know.
But still, it would be a shame to put something on this this bike. Yeah. It's just too good looking to screw it up with electricity.
It's true, but if you've got a load of mates that are going out for an e-bike ride, you know, and you want to go and join them, and you can't join in, then just take an hour to swap a little bolt-on kit, and out you go, and then take it off when you get back. Nobody has to know.
Well, sure.
It's all right. Keep it secret.
For the pictures, you just take it off.
Yeah.
I made 3,000 meters.
I think like when I've got that set up on titanium, like a titanium frame, and I've got some Rocket Rons on there, you know, some little 2.25 Rocket Ron tyres. That thing flies, you know. And I think to myself, like, I'd never need an e-bike. It's so quick. Yeah. You know, but obviously you're not getting the same level of grip and everything out of bigger tyres and so on. It's when you start putting that sort of weight back in the bike that, you know, you realise, hold on a minute, for me to be able to get that sort of speed and performance out of it, then you're going to have to go e-bike. But me personally, as you can tell, I'm not really that fussed. Otherwise, I would have moved forward with that.
Yeah, sure.
I just like getting on my little hardtails and going looping around the Peak District.
Are you going to go kids' bikes?
Not really. These are just for my kids. These are kids' bikes that
These you welded here, didn't you?
No.
You didn't either?
No. These are, what do you call them? I forgot the name of the brand, sorry. I forgot the name of the brand. Just literally flipped them through the paint shop to make the kids happy because they'll only ride stuff that's got Stanton on it. Yeah. But they're great little kids' bikes. I really want to tell you what it is.
Well, it doesn't matter. I thought it was a Stanton.
It's just branded up like that to keep the kids happy.
Do they really care?
Sorry?
Do they really care?
Yeah, genuinely.
They do?
Yeah, they get sad if they haven't. Go, why can't I ride one with your name on it, Daddy? Okay. You make the best bikes, Daddy.
What does your 15-year-old ride?
He rides one of these now with me. He did have that FS there, but he just got too big for it. He's bigger than me, which isn't hard.
Is it also that he rides better than you now because he's not afraid of things?
Nah, not really.
Not
really.
Not yet.
Not yet. He can't, you know. He's into it, you know, but it's not like a massive thing for him. I think like he likes design, you know, he likes 3D printing things and stuff like that, you know. We like riding together, but I think as things move on, you know, probably pick it up more.
Yeah, you get older, he's getting fitter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. Okay, shall I show you upstairs?
Sure.
Okay.
Haven't really talked about the full suspension bikes.
So so basically this is like where we assemble the full suspension rear ends. Put the rear end on the front end. There's all the little tubes and sections and pieces that go in the shocks and whatnot. And then literally where we put the axles in and so on before shipping. Yeah. These are some customer frames here that are just about to go out, and we've got a bunch more down over there as well, but I'll show you them in a minute.
Is this some sort of effect?
Yeah, it's a fade. That.
Can I just take it off?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. I don't know whether you can see it in the video, but it's like, it reminds me of those hypercolor Matchbox.
Yeah.
You know, where you put some heat on it and it changes colors.
Yeah, yeah. We did a customer's frame, literally designed off his favourite Matchbox car when he was a kid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Hot Wheels car, sorry.
Yeah.
Was it Matchbox? I can't remember. But literally a toy car.
Is there any difference between Hot Wheels and Matchbox?
Yeah. Yeah, and that was really cool. It looked really, Lara did a really good job because it did look very much like the little toy car.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so this is obviously a home gym here. Like we train, me and Matt, the painter here, train weights, and we also train Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So when we're talking, you know, about my eldest son, he also trains Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. That's something that he's pretty big into.
So if the attorney stuff doesn't work out as you want it to, you can just do some Jiu-Jitsu.
That sounds like a plan. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, it's good fun. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is really good fun. I'm struggling with a nerve in my back at the minute, and my neck, so I'm not doing so well at the minute. But
well, it's good for mountain biking, I suppose. You do something else, some other muscles you train, and then
upper body. You're not going over the bars.
I have sore muscles all over. Yeah, from yesterday going downhill. I'm so sore. I should actually do something like that as well.
Yeah, it's great for your upper body.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, it's just like push pull force with another, you know, bloke. It's like hard work. Yeah. But yeah, so, and obviously as we're getting older, you need to keep on top of yourself. Yeah. You need to keep your upper body nice and strong as well as your lower half for riding. Yeah. So that's why we've got this little setup. Obviously before, when we had loads of people working here, this was an assembly area and all this, that and the other. So it's kind of a real nice privilege to have this space to be able to do this
But you
just
stuff. Set it up, didn't you? Or was it like you just set up this place? I saw a video of...
It's been evolving over a couple of years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the floor was supposed to arrive before you came, to be honest. We've got a new floor that's coming in from here along.
It's an okay floor.
It's a messy floor. We got some new lino coming, like nice lino.
And you have to take off your shoes once you get on.
Yeah, slippers only. You have to put your slippers on. That was just like trying to keep it nice and more homely and you know, more, because there's literally me, Lara and Matt here now. It's far more peaceful, easy, more comfortable. You know, it's a nice environment to be in, like really nice environment. I don't feel like my head's going to blow every single day. You know, before I would go to the gym to stress my body so I wouldn't feel as emotionally stressed when I came to work. You know, now I don't have those feelings, don't have those worries. It's just nice and smooth. All is well and good.
And you still manage to make a living.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
It's so cool.
Yeah, much nicer. So here this is some stock that we have just painted up here, and then we've got more stock down here, and then we have some stock in Sheffield, and then obviously we've got stuff being made that's about to come over. But yeah, so come on down here.
Mark Forster. Forrester.
Yeah.
If it was Mark Forster, a famous German singer,
Okay.
Maybe he's into
Maybe it's
mountain
him.
biking. Maybe it's him.
But I think he's from America, that guy. But maybe he's in America on holiday.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe
he
that
wants
is
to
what's
have a
going.
bike there.
So like I say, we literally can finish a frame any style or any desire you have. This is off a Yo Eddie. Customer wanted something like a, you know, Fat Chance Yo Eddie.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Old school frame. So
Yeah,
wanted it to look like that.
yeah.
So we've done that for him. We've just shipped a bunch of frames. We've got a load of frames upstairs all painted as well that I could show you.
So I can choose any color, any
Anything.
design. If I want to have a, I don't know, a hippie batik, you know, you can do that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Literally anything you want to do, it's possible.
Should have done that. Not just going blue. I thought it was special doing blue, but now I kind of feel not so special anymore.
Yeah. So this is literally where the magic happened. This is a little powder coating booth that we've got. This is where Laura and Matt work mainly in here, just processing all the frames of two extremely skilled people, to be honest.
How many frames do they manage to paint a day, if they have to do it?
If the both of them can get through 9 in a day.
Okay.
But that would be working pretty flat out, you know, and the processing everything in there. Like that's how many the oven fits.
Yeah.
You know, so if they work really, really seamlessly together, you know, so if the pressure's on, they can get through quite a bunch of frames in a week. But yeah, it's we hope that we don't put them through that really. It's too much drive. That's a friend's.
This is a raw frame.
Yeah, that's
it's
actually
not even a stand-in. I can see it on the dropouts.
It's one of Dave Loughran's Planet X frames that he wants us to spray up for him. So yeah, we take work on for other companies as well. We paint stuff for other people.
Okay.
You know, but the wall's pretty empty because we've just done a bunch of shipping because it's the start of the week.
Would you be able to paint carbon frames too?
Yeah, we can. Yeah, but you have to wet paint carbon because they can delaminate in the oven. So you have to wet paint them. But we've got all the kit to wet paint.
Okay.
And there's some colours that we do wet paint only.
Dang, I should have brought my Surly.
Yeah?
It's all rusty and all that. It's from 2011. I've been riding it all through winter, summer, every day you know, to work, and it just doesn't look good anymore.
Yeah, well...
Fresh paint would have been good.
We,
doing it myself.
We've got a blaster through here.
Oh, so get rid of the old paint.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it sandblaster or what is it?
Yeah, in there. And there's a couple of other tools.
Oh,
And other
okay.
bits and bobs. Yeah, there's a sandblaster in there.
I worked on one of those as a student.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. It was
Dirty
super
work.
Nice.
You
I
didn't
kind of
mind
liked
it?
it because it was so, you know, satisfying when you get the paint off and all that and the rust. It was so cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it is satisfying, isn't it? You do get to see a good end product when it's all done. Yeah. That's, see this here? This is a unit that I designed ages ago. And it fits in the back of a, you know, like a T5 or T6.
Oh, so it's like traveling.
Yeah. And these slide out here, and then this lifts up, and it makes it a bed when you put the back seats down.
Oh.
And then here, let me just move this weird bit of wood. Oh, so I've got a weak arm on it. Literally pull this here.
Standing logo on it.
Yeah. And then you've got
a kitchen.
Yeah.
Just like we do.
And so
you don't have to pull it out though.
But so you stood outside.
Yeah.
You know, with the boot up. You know, your tailgate.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's got little LEDs under here. And you've got like, what is it called?
Did you have it produced or is it a?
I was going to get them made, but I just had this one done, and then I put it in the back of my van, and then I got smashed into on the motorway, and it wrote the van off. But this stayed okay. And so then this is just. I've then decided to get a Sprinter long wheelbase van.
Yeah.
So I like got a white panel van, and then ripped everything out. Like, well, just literally built a camper in that.
Yeah.
And that's what I use instead. So this has just become null and void.
You could actually sell it.
The intention is to strip it down, measure it all up, and then build it in CAD. And then my next door neighbour Steve, he owns a wood machining place.
Okay.
So me and him then start knocking these out as little units, you know. But it's just another thing, isn't it? It's another job.
Then
Got
it's
loads to do,
again,
loads of projects.
15 employees, and
Yeah,
then all over again.
yeah. It's just quite a lot of projects going on all the time,
Yeah.
you know.
I
So,
see that.
so yeah,
Just focus more on bikes.
that's it,
Yeah.
isn't it? Just
Basically.
ride them. Focus more on riding them. That's the thing.
True.
Yeah.
How often do you ride?
Try and ride every couple of weeks at least. You know.
Every couple of days?
A couple of weeks.
You don't have time to ride like.
Not that. I've got a family of 3 kids as well, so.
Well, one of
Right.
them rides with you.
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, there's sometimes just go out on my own. Probably once every couple of weeks.
Oh, I'm fortunate then. I ride 3 times a week.
I used to ride
Yeah.
quite a lot. Well, I used to ride loads and loads, but like I go on trips. Like I'm going to America to ride literally every single day
Yeah,
for
that's so
5
cool.
weeks.
Yeah, true.
But through the winter, I'm probably riding
Probably the
once a
winter's
week or once.
harsher, isn't it? Here.
Yeah, it is.
You have
Yeah.
a lot of snow.
Up here you do. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, I'd say if I'm genuine, yeah, it's like through winter I'm riding probably once every 2 weeks, once a week, once every 2 weeks. As summer comes up, obviously I'm out and down Cannock Chase. Me and my mates, I was riding the other day, me and my mate out just local.
Yeah.
But yeah, that'll pick up and then go on trips and adventures, hopefully going to Norway
Yeah.
on a little trip. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. It's different riding.
Yeah.
For me, everything is different at home.
I've got some more frames I can show you, some different finishes.
Sure.
So this is a Sedona in livery finish.
Oh yeah, that's the one. That's the usual finish, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Like the what did you call it? Limited edition color.
That's right.
200 or something like that. I mean, like 200 pieces of this.
That's right, yeah.
Which size is this?
16.
16. So that's the one I got, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, went for the 16. Looks so cool.
And then here's some standard colours that we offer in that as well. So this is a black lava.
A black what?
Black lava.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I saw
Beautiful finish that is.
that. We'll probably have to take this outside to just
Yeah.
really appreciate the
Yeah,
color.
let's do it.
Yeah.
I'll take this other one as well.
So this is black lava.
Yeah,
No,
that's black lava. And this is black copper.
That's more reddish.
This is like a deep brown colour.
And this is blue.
That's Lagoon, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, we're sending that one
no,
back through the
nothing
paint shop.
happened. Stock.
That's
Oh,
beautiful,
that's
that
a Sedona
finish.
as well.
Yeah, I think they
These
all
are all
are.
Sedona,
Yeah.
aren't they?
Yeah,
Yeah. Super nice.
handsome looking, aren't they?
They are.
I love that. Lagoon is definitely one of my favourites, that.
What did you say about the blue I told you to do?
Which one was that?
The blue one, the Sedona, that has just been delivered.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's the best
It's
yet.
the best.
The
Best
very
choice going.
special one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, real nice.
Okay, thanks.
Don't forget this one.
Oh no, just only have to take the one. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, cool, eh? Yeah, and this is, I'll just say about the finish actually, I haven't said. So they look wet painted, right? They've got that real
Yeah.
nice
They do.
look to them, you know, really,
But
really
they
lovely
are
glass.
powdered, aren't they?
Yeah, and you know, you can see all the welds, everything looks super neat. Yeah, look,
Yeah.
check them out, look. How neat all the welding is, and you can see that through the paint, because obviously it's a real nice quality paint. But what we're saying here is that these are powder coated. So they've got the durability of powder coat, but they're you know, they look wet painted, but they've got the durability of powder coat because they're powder coated.
Mm.
So, yeah. And they don't leave here unless they're absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
You'll never see a blemish or a mark on them. They're fabulous.
Unless I hit it against something.
Unless you chip it, yeah. Yeah.
I'm wondering, so the dropper post goes through here and in here again, right?
So we have got a video on how to do this, and it's pretty funny. So that's a switchback actually, but yeah. So
but that's what Steve said.
So what's happening is it's going down. There's a hole in this tube here.
Yeah.
So this seat tube is mited to the down tube,
Yeah.
and then the down tube has a porthole in it.
Okay.
Yeah. So the cable's running through, and then runs up, and then comes out here.
Oh, I thought it was gonna come out here and
No,
get
no.
back in there.
No.
Oh, so it's like a lot of pushing. I'm just wondering how to mount it.
Okay, so what you've got to do is you block off all the holes. You set a hoover up this side, and you pass a piece of string
Okay.
through there, and it draws it out here.
Mm-hmm.
And then you attach the hoover to there, and it sucks the string up through there. And then you attach inner cable to the string, pull the inner cable through, then you slide the outer cable over the inner cable, then you put the proper inner cable in that you're going to use.
So it wouldn't really work with the Park Tool magnetic thingy?
No, because it's steel.
So
yeah,
you need a
proper
hoover.
faffy. Yeah, yeah, you couldn't do it because it's steel. You can't use a.
So you block it with some kind of tape?
Just some masking tape. Yeah.
Okay.
Any tape will do.
Good to
really.
know.
Just block the holes.
It would have been frustrating.
Huh?
It would have been frustrating not to know it.
Yeah,
and
I
then
think
trying to figure it out.
Yeah. Well, me and Joe, my videographer and a very good friend of mine. We've been friends for years.
Yeah.
We've just done a video on routing one of those, and
Is
was
it
pretty
online,
funny.
online already?
It will be online. We've got the video of me painting it first, the frame first, and then the video of the routing, and then the video of the build, and then the video of the first ride that we went out and did the other day.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of videos going out that are all in relation to this Sedona, but I've got to say the routing one's the funniest one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably not gonna film it. Even with the advice, I'm just gonna.
You should film it. To be fair, if you know how to do it and you do it, you know, it's pretty quick and clean.
Okay.
But if you don't know how to do it, you know, then it would be a pain in the arse.
Even knowing that you have to block out all the holes.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
see. We'll see.
Honestly.
If not, I'm just gonna ask for the video.
Yeah. The bit that really got me when we were filming it was once we pulled the inner cable through on the string. Yeah. He'd been up this end and he'd like picked it, and I said, "Oh, you don't want to pick that, mate, because we've got to kind of let the string go all the way back in so that we can feed the outer cable over the inner cable, then hold the inner cable and then pull the outer cable through." And obviously, because he'd picked it, when I'd pulled the string, it just come undone. And so we're like, "Pull it home. You just pull it back like this, mate. Pull it out." And then we both just look at each other. Oh, man, this is so brutal. It's like the effort of going to putting it in. Oh, mate, it was the right moment.
Yeah.
You'd have to watch the video.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Do these frames come with a seat collar?
Yeah. All the frames come with a seat collar, dropouts, and an axle as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. And then if you purchase a headset with the frame, then we'll fit it for you for free.
Okay.
No sweat.
Got a Hope headset
Yeah.
already. Well, Hope parts mostly. Cranks, brakes, rotors, headset, bottom bracket. Got a big package from them.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So cool.
I like to run Hope kit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never ridden, well, Hope headset, of course, but other than that, brake-wise, I went with a German company, The Intent, we talked about earlier. Super cool brakes, but Hope brakes are cool too.
Yeah, I
I
think
see them a lot
they
in
look so
Britain.
cool.
I don't know why.
everyone loves Hope brakes. Come and look how nice these Hope brakes look.
They do,
They look brilliant.
especially with the
Look how
Tech
snazzy
4.
they are. Look. Don't get much nicer than that.
Hold on, just gonna. No, I'm not gonna do it. I'm probably gonna drop it and then.
That's right, we'll pop them back up.
Yeah.
But I've got this dripping in some Hope kit.
It looks so great. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the levers.
They're just such cool brakes. I think Hope make great kit.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, I feel proud to know that they're just made literally down the road.
Yeah.
You know, I use them for a lot of parts really.
Gonna
Right.
go there on Friday.
Yeah, you have a
No,
nice time.
Thursday.
Big difference to here. It's a proper
Doesn't have to be a bad difference.
proper big player then.
Though.
Yeah. Let's go and run these back upstairs.
Okay, sure. And don't want to draw. You have a Trials bike?
Yeah.
That's a pretty old one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's from when literally like from when I was a kid really. So that's a Martin Ashton Justice frame. Yeah.
I watched the videos of Ali Clarkson.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
probably know him. Though.
Yeah.
He always does those old spulls and
Yeah.
all that. He knows how to ride them though.
Yeah.
And
But yeah, I used to ride trials when I was a kid. We used to ride like there weren't trials bikes when I was a kid. So we used to ride small 13 and 15 inch frames.
yeah,
I used to have a Specialized rock hopper
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah, me and my mates, that's all we rode. That's literally all we did every day. We used to.
That's where you went to for hardtails, I suppose.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, all we used to do every single day was go out, like as soon as school finished, out on our trials bikes, riding down Elveston Castle, hopping around the block, hopping around all the seating areas, and then in Elveston, where I grew up, just hopping off all the walls and rocks and Yeah, it was brilliant. And then it was that or martial arts. That's literally all we did every single day.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did a lot of dry riding.
I never grew up. I just never grew up.
That's okay.
Carried on them 2 things. I know. I'm happy about it.
Do you have your shins like with scars as well?
Yeah, I'll show you.
Oh my god, I've had so many shinies.
All the scars here, look. Some good under there. And then this shin.
Now it's
Some deep
comparison,
ones.
scar comparison. I have this one right here.
Oh,
that
yeah.
will go to hospital because down to the bone.
This one was down to the bone, look, you see it there. I'm left-footed, so this leg took the most.
Yeah, I'm right foot forward, so it's always when you just slip it,
Slip
and
it
then
off,
you hit
yeah.
it, you know that you're screwed.
It's brutal, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mate, when you was a kid as well, you said, trying your best not to get too upset in front of your mates, sucking it in.
But you're too cool to wear protection.
Can't be doing that.
No, it's uncool.
And then you run those bear trap pedals as well.
No.
I used to have them bear trap pedals, like literally look like a bear trap.
Okay.
Yeah, and they just come round and wham you in the shin. And I remember one time it smacked me so hard in the shin, and I went to move my leg back, and it was stuck in my shin.
Oh my god!
It was horrible. Yeah. Good living. Good living.
Good living.
Good memories.
Bleeding.
Yeah.
Give it to you. Oh my god! Yes.
Responsibility over. Okay, so yeah, that's
basically it.
Yeah, and oh look, there you go. Here's just to show. Here's a customer's, like a random frame that we're painting for somebody.
Random frame.
Santa Cruz, yeah, but
he wants to have it. No, it's a Santa Cruz Chameleon.
It's a Santa Cruz Chameleon, yeah. But he's got, like, if you look, like pedal ginger, and then we've got a sketch of what he's looking for on here. Look, and then his daughter's name and what colour, you know.
So it's for his daughter.
Yeah, just like fully custom paint on a totally random frame. We can do that.
How much do you charge for it?
It should be about 500 quid for that, really, because there's all the decal making and everything else. But he's going to help me out with a few other things, so probably like mates rates, you know. But yeah, I guess that's just showing you that we can literally do any paint job, any frame, whatever. Like I say, we paint for other companies sometimes as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any big companies?
We did some stuff for, well, I don't know what your class is big really, but did some stuff like prototype paint work for Atherton. We've painted some Starling before and a Kotick before, you know, stuff like that really.
I was going to visit them, but they stopped responding.
Oh really?
Oh, why?
Which one?
Atherton?
Atherton?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's not a great a loss. Don't worry.
Why?
It's all right.
It's a super nice frame. They just brought out the pinion, the belt drive downhiller.
Yeah, I mean, like there's plenty of other good, like when you go Hope, that's like a big play, you know, beautiful thing to see, Hope stuff, yeah. Big factory.
I guess so.
Lots of stuff. Cool.
Well, thanks.
Okay, well, yeah, I really appreciate you dropping by.
Yeah, me too.
Nice to meet
you. So interesting. You said your workshop doesn't look great. For me, it looks better than most of the workshops I've seen.
Yeah, you think so? Thank you
very
much.
It's a workshop.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see. Not you know, the shiny things. Nothing against Hope, but
it's beautiful. Hope's really cool. You're going to enjoy being there.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. So an amazing place, really.
Yeah.
Some wicked machines there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll probably show you some machining, processing, and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So it'll be worth the journey.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Well,
all right.
Thank you.
Thank you, my friend.
That's it.
Thank you.
Die Zeit vergeht wie im Flug. Der Besuch bei Dan ist jetzt schon 3 Wochen her und wie man sieht, habe ich mein eigenes Standen schon aufgebaut. Dazu wird es aber noch ein eigenes Video geben. Zum Rahmen gibt es eine lustige Geschichte. Ich sollte den ja eigentlich schon im Januar bekommen. Da gab es aber so ein paar kleine Probleme. Dann war die Absprache, dass ich ihn, wenn ich dort zu Besuch bin, dann einfach mitnehme. Ja, und dann sitze ich auf der Fähre und bekomme eine SMS von UPS, dass ich doch irgendwelche Zollgebühren bezahlen solle. Und dann gucke ich so drauf, UPS, Stanton Bikes, das kann doch nicht sein. Naja, dann gab es wieder ein kleines Missverständnis. Der Rahmen wurde tatsächlich an dem Tag verschickt, an dem ich nach England fuhr. Also ein bisschen komisch. Na gut, da habe ich die Zollgebühren bezahlt und das habe ich dann auch gleich mitgenommen und habe Dan gefragt, ob sich denn irgendetwas für ihn verändert hat seit dem Brexit. Und er hat gesagt, nö, eigentlich nicht. Ob er nun in die USA verschickt oder nach Deutschland verschickt, ist egal. Die Formularien sind alle dieselben. Für uns Deutsche hat sich aber was geändert. Wir bezahlen mehr. Früher war das so, du hast dort bestellt und es kam einfach zu dir. Ich habe auch viele Sachen in England bestellt. Jetzt ist es so, es muss erst durch den Zoll, dann bezahlst du deine 19% Mehrwertsteuer. Na gut, die bezahlst du in England ja nicht, die Mehrwertsteuer. Dann gibt es noch 4,7% diese Einfuhrsteuer, auf Fahrradteile waren es, glaube ich. Und dann noch irgendeine konfuse Steuer, irgendeinen Betrag, den UPS oder DHL oder wie sie alle heißen, erheben. Damit ihr das aber nicht bezahlen müsst, beziehungsweise euer Geld auch ein bisschen wieder zurückbekommt, gibt es für den gesamten Mai einen Discount-Code. Trail Nomad, wenn ihr den eingebt im Warenkorb, bekommt ihr 10% Rabatt auf die gesamte Bestellung und damit sind die Zollgebühren ja eigentlich schon wieder drin. Das heißt, wenn ihr euch so ein schönes Rad aufbauen wollt, diese Bewegung, wenn ihr euch so ein geniales Rad aufbauen wollt, dann könnt ihr das tun und bezahlt so wie früher vor dem Brexit genau dasselbe. Ja? Und das finde ich eigentlich eine coole Sache. Ich werde jetzt das erste Mal fahren mit diesem Rad. Ich gehe dann gleich irgendwo einen Kammweg runterballern oder wahrscheinlich erstmal was Seichteres, um mich an das Rad zu gewöhnen. Als ich vorne auf der Straße gefahren bin, das war schon naja, das gibt es im nächsten Video. Also viel Spaß bis dahin. Ciao.